Okay, so we got the SSD drive firmly mounted into the easy slide out bay. Man, this is a pretty little thing, isn't this pretty? When I say securely, I mean I have hand tightened all of these screws, which that's how I roll. And here's our little bay slot. Now on the back of this, I showed you a circuit board earlier that Cool Master has made a clever little board there, so we can just plug and play real quick with these drives. The catch to that is, since there's two SATA jacks on there, you can't for sure tell which of those jacks corresponds with the top or bottom slot. So as a precaution, I went ahead and left both cables in. The idea in this installation is going to be to have as few cables as possible. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave them both plugged in, just to ensure that this drive is going to have a connection, and just so that later on in the event I do come across another device I want to slide in here, I'm not going to pull my whole computer apart just to run that one cable that I left out the last time I was here. So I'm just going to show you real quick. We just drop this drive in here. It should slide back and plug right into that bay with no problems whatsoever. Now, of course, shoulda, woulda, coulda, it's not going in that smoothly, unfortunately. So let's take a look here what we got. So we've got the bay there. It corresponds with obviously the back of our device. That's a very small margin of error permitted when you slide this thing in, and that should be at the bottom. So when it arrives at the back, I shouldn't even see that bay because it should be popping into the bottom of this device. So we're going to try to do it at a little bit of an upward slope. I'm plugging it in. So far, no go. And continuing on the no-go path. Let's just check here. So it looks like that may be something that you have to fidget with to get a good fit. Oh, there we go. I didn't have to use anywhere near as much force as I had expected. It did just kind of pop in there and seat once it lined up. So you might find that you have to monkey with it just a tad. Just remember when it slides back that it's going into the bottom of the device, not the top of the back. So kind of keep that in mind when holding it at the angle to slide it in. And that's pretty much the installation of that SSD device. In a little while, once the case is all built and everything's in there, I'm going to show you how long it takes to install an operating system onto an SSD device. We will have the SSD as the primary hard drive that the computer boots from, and then we'll have another device that's partitioned out for other file server type stuff and maybe other not as frequently used applications. The SSD will primarily be for the operating system and the most frequently used applications, which would just be, for me, things like Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, adult content, stuff like that, commonly used stuff. So I'll be back with you shortly with my next video, which is going to be kind of a walkthrough of my power supply and how I set it up. Again, we're taking these one step at a time so we can take a look at how our cable management is going to work out.